Good morning, welcome to this weekly market update from MRC Markets. Today is the 20th of June 2012. What we'll be doing today is going through some technical analysis on Euro dollar, cable, dollar yen, dollar Swiss and gold. We'll not be making any trade calls or recommendations. You trade at your own risk. If you could please read our disclaimer on our website www.mrcmarkets.com. For any new followers, we have 3 moving averages on each of these charts. The red one is a 55 simple moving average, the purple is a 100 simple moving average, and the gold is a 200 simple moving average. Okay, and let's have a look at the euro dollar. First of all, weekly, won't spend too much on the weekly chart. Just look at last week's candle risk. What did we have last week? It's kind of a hanging man formation, so still a hanging man candle is classified as a bullish continuation pattern. In terms of moving averages, we're still miles away. I mean, the 55 watts at 1.34, so nothing massively of interest, but it looks like that we're trying to get some sort of a healthy retracement on the euro here after we've had such a long time of selling off in terms of the weekly chart. In terms of the daily, moving averages, 55 is the nearest one, coming in at 1.2808. And it looks like we're starting to bounce up a little bit. So in terms of the fibs that I'm focusing on, this fib here, from the highs to the lows, a lot of long-term players will be looking to sell at one of the 50% or the 61.8, I would suspect. And the 50% is looking quite likely because we most probably will have the 55 daily moving average coinciding with that retracement level, so that comes in at 1.2785, the 50%. So we'll not be surprised if we had any sellers coming in. So in terms of a big sort of a selling area, selling level, that will be the one that I'll be looking for in terms of the daily. But in terms of the next few days, in terms of the next few days, what we keep an eye out for is this sort of daily trend, 4-hour trend line we've got here. It's been playing out very, very nicely, and it's also been playing out nicely in terms of the Fibonacci retracement levels, as confluence levels. So, for example, this one we had last week from lows to highs there. You can see I have a nice sort of bounce off this 50% retracement. We now then took out those highs, and we went and pretty much just came short of the 123 extension. So that was a very nice fib that played out. And now that we've got this trend line, one that was a fib that was spotted up yesterday, I think the day before, was this one here from lows to highs, played out very nicely off the 61.8, and also that 55 simple moving average as well. Nice, very good confluence level there. And you can see that green bullish sort of hammer candle there, how it's reacted off that 50% level and off the 55 EMA and off the trendline support. So really nice confidence level there, and you can see we've started to pop up, but we are sort of looking quite toppy around this level here. Let's just make that resistance line a little bit thicker. So we are starting to look a little bit toppy around this sort of area here at the sort of 127 handle. So it's looking like a key resistance zone. Currently on this 4-hour candle, we've pretty much pierced that level, and starting to come down a little bit. So that's the key sort of level going into these next few days, and especially today, see what will happen at that level. It is starting to look quite toppy, so if we do get a retracement down, then I'd not be surprised to see any more buyers coming in at that trendline support. But a very, very technical chart indeed, euro dollar. Definitely one of the best ones out of all the forex pairs at the minute, in my opinion. So yeah, okay, let's have a look at cable. Cable, what do we have? Let's quickly look at the weekly. Key support was around here. We've spoken about this for the last sort of few weeks now, and you can see last 2 weeks, well, the 3 weeks ago, we had a nice bounce off it. I mean, all you have to do is look to your left here and see how many bounces we've had off this sort of one sort of 52.96, we can call it 153. 3-4 key bounces off that level, and you see the last couple of weeks candles have been very bullish indeed, bouncing off of that trend line. So in terms of the weekly, it looks like it still wants to bounce up and keep on going to the upside. The 200 week moving average there is around one spot 58.33, and then we have this kind of cluster of moving averages here. So if any sellers are wanting to come in the market, longer term players, then this fib will be very, very interesting here. You can see between this 50% and 61.8 zone will be a key selling area for longer term bears, but it's still quite a bullish chart, especially for the longer term perspective. That weekly chart is very, very bullish indeed, so I would be cautious if you want to sell. But in terms of, we'll leave that fib on and flip it to the daily, you can see we are now coming up resistance at the 200 day moving average, which is just shy of the 50% level. A lot of sellers are coming to that, so that's a key level I'll be looking out for over these next couple of days to see what happens at this level. Are we going to sell off, or are we going to keep on going towards the upside? If we do break above this 50% level, then you've got this 55 simple moving average and 100 simple moving average here. Okay, but very nice, very interesting chart. Actually no, let's flip it to the shorter term story as well. I'll just delete that fib, clear up a bit. Yeah, so what I mean, similar to Euro, we still have we're still in a nice sort of uptrend on cable, and now you can see we're getting a bit sticky at this 200 bar moving average on the 4 hour. If we're going to get any sort of retracement, which is looking unlikely at the minute, I mean, very, very bullish candles here, but it does look like it should come down to this trendline support. If we do, then a lot of players will be looking to a lot of traders will be looking to buy at this trendline support and this 55 simple moving average confluence zone as well on the 4 hour. But nice technical chart, euro and cable, very, very nice indeed. Dollar yen, I'm not really too interested in this chart, to be honest. It's not the most technical of charts. What do we have? We have a trendline resistance on here, which is playing out. That's pretty much all that I'd be interested in, to be honest. I mean, you can see this 200 day moving average is kind of capping a bit around here with the trendline resistance, so that's a nice little confluence area, which is already getting some sort of sellers coming in. If we get a break to the upside, then I'll be focused on that 55 day moving average there and 100 day moving average there as well, but not a massively technical chart. Much better charts out there, for example euro and cable. What do we have on dollar Swiss? Automatically, first thing I look at on this daily chart, as you can see, we're getting a trendline support here, big trendline support back from 2nd of August 2011. Just nick that up a bit. And in terms of the fibs, I mean, the fib I'd automatically look at is from that recent dip there to the highs, and we're coming shy of the 50%, but it looks like it's wanting to come back down a bit. But of course you can't ignore this trendline support. In terms of the shorter term perspective, it's been doing a basically complete opposite thing to euro. So on euro and cable, we have the trendline supports coming in on the sort of 4 hour and 1 hour chart, and this is the 4 hour dollar Swiss chart, and we have a nice trendline resistance. Surprise, surprise. And you can also see from the fibs here, similar to euro, we had that the fib from lows to highs, draw it from high to lows, and dollar Swiss you can see exactly the same thing with that 55 simple moving average and the 61.8 coming in. So sellers have already been coming in at that. So I mean, if you're going to trade dollar Swiss, then you might as well just trade euro dollar and just flip it upside down. But if you do want to trade dollar Swiss instead of euro dollar, or you could do a sort of hedge, I suppose. You could go long euro dollar off of these fibs and then sell dollar Swiss as a nice little hedge. So that's what you can do. But in terms of going into the week, it's all about, very similar to euro and cable, all about the trend lines and how we react off of these trend lines. Okay, that's for the forex. Let's have a look at gold. What do we have on gold? Spoke about for the sort of last few weeks, really, this trendline support on the weekly. You can see the amount of wicks we have here, the candlestick wicks. It's looking to get some sort of bullish momentum, but it's struggling. The reason it was struggling here is because this 55 day moving average, it held around here and it held around here as well. So if we're going to get any sort of bullish momentum to the upside, then it's got to get above this 100 day moving average and 200 day moving average there. But in terms of the weekly and the longer term perspective, I'd be very cautious if you were selling. The only reason I would prefer to sell is if we got a key clear weekly candlestick close below this key support, but that's the key support for me. Daily's not, I mean, it's been quite choppy really in terms of the daily chart. Is there anything interesting on the 4 hour? Nothing much really. Very volatile and very choppy indeed. So if you're going to be a gold trader, probably best to be a long term one. Stops just below these lows here in the 100 day, and see if we get a bounce to the upside. Okay, that's all for the charts. What do we have in the calendar? It's Wednesday today. What do we have out left? We have the FOMC statement out at 5:30 UK time. That'll be very key. Are we going to get any more hints of QE or the Fed's Operation Twist? And then we have the FOMC economic projections at 7 o'clock and the press conference, which will be very key to see what Bernanke says at 7:15. On Thursday, what do we have? We have a lot of mid-tier Eurozone data, a lot of PMIs coming out of the German, French PMIs coming out at sort of 8:30 time. 9:30 we have some more UK news, retail sales month-on-month forecast at 1.1%. And we have weekly jobless claims, 1:30, the US. And at 3 o'clock, some more US data. We have existing home sales, Philly Fed manufacturing index as well. And on Friday, quite a quiet day, but at 9 AM we have the German IFO business climate. And we have some ECOFIN meetings as well. Okay, that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you.